There exists a code older than steel, forged not in flame or hammer, but in the unyielding fire of the human spirit. Its trial is not fought only on battlefields, but in every breath, every choice, every silent moment when no one watches. Bushido, the way of the warrior. Not a set of rules, not a manual for fighting, but 8 sacred virtues. 8 pillars that transform ordinary men into legends, whose names refuse to die. Rectitude, courage, compassion, respect, honesty, honor, loyalty, self-control. These are not traits. You learn they are traits you become. Through fire, through failure, through choosing to stand when the world demands you fall. In feudal Japan, during the age of the samurai, these virtues were no decoration. They were the difference between a warrior and a wanderer, between a man who could be broken and one who could not. This is the story of Dai, a young samurai who inherited his father's blade, but not his father's soul, who possessed every advantage, yet discovered he had nothing that truly mattered. And the 8 trials that would either forge him into something unbreakable or destroy him completely. Because Bushido does not negotiate, it does not bend, it does not compromise. You either embody the code or you reveal that you never truly understood it. Himeji Province, autumn of 167. Dai of the Taita clan, 19 summers, stood undefeated in the training yard. 17 victories in a row. Each opponent defeated, each strike precise, each form perfect. Whispers followed him. Perhaps he would rise as legendary as his father, Taita Masaru, the hero who died defending Seigara Castle 7 years past. But Dai knew a truth no one else could see. He was empty. Every victory rang hollow. Every praise felt false. And in the quiet of his mind, a void screamed where his father's honor should have been. That evening, after training, his uncle Lord Taita Hiroshi, head of the clan, summoned him. "Nephew, your skill grows daily. Your father would be proud." "Thank you, uncle. But there is something you must know. Tomorrow, a Ronin will arrive. He was your father's closest friend. He requests permission to test you." "Test me? I have defeated everyone here, in combat, in skill. What is left to test?" "Something deeper," Hiroshi said. "Your father made him promise, before dying at Seigara, to ensure you learn what cannot be taught with the sword alone. Tomorrow, you will understand. Or you will not. Either way, your path reveals itself." Dawn broke over the courtyard. Mist curled between the training racks, ghost-like. Dai stood, waiting, though he did not yet understand what awaited him. A figure emerged, a man weathered by 60 winters, face lined like a carved cliff, eyes deep as the ocean. His clothes, simple yet immaculate, spoke of a life disciplined. "You are Dai. I am. I am Kenshin. I was your father's sworn brother. I watched you train yesterday. 17 victories. Impressive, yet hollow." Dai's eyes flickered. "Hollow? You defeat others. But you do not defeat yourself. That is why I am here." Kenshin placed a small pouch at Dai's feet. "Inside is enough gold to live comfortably for 3 years. It belongs to a merchant who wronged your clan. Your uncle wishes revenge, but cannot act without dishonoring his position. The gold is yours, clan honor restored, justice served." Dai's hand hovered over the pouch, the weight of expectation pressing on him. But Kenshin continued, voice steady as stone. "There is another truth. The merchant did not cheat intentionally. It was an honest mistake. Taking this gold will ruin him. His family, his life, all gone." Dai froze. The choice was clear, yet impossible. Clan honor or human justice? Obedience or morality? Convenience or truth? "Your father faced this same choice," Kenshin said. "A corrupt lord demanded he execute an innocent peasant to maintain order. He refused. It cost him favor, nearly his life, but he chose GI over convenience. Now it is your turn. Every instinct screamed to grasp the gold, to satisfy expectation, to take the easy path. But Dai remembered his father's words echoing in his mind. A samurai's strength is not in the sword. It is in the courage to choose the hard right over the easy wrong. Dai pushed the bag back toward Kenshin. Return it to the merchant. Tell my uncle I discovered the error. Clan honor is not built on injustice. Kenshin's face betrayed no expression, yet Dai felt it the first virtue awakening inside him. 7 remain. 3 days later, Kenshin led Dai to the edge of a cliff. The gorge below was a churning chaos of white water, crashing against jagged rocks hundreds of feet down. Your father told me you've never faced real danger, Kenshin said, voice calm against the roar of the river. Every duel you fought was safe. Wooden swords, rules, supervision. Training is not experience. This is courage, not the absence of fear, but action despite it. He handed Dai a rope, frayed and ancient. Climb down to that ledge, 30 feet below. Retrieve the marker stone. Climb back up. This is the same test your father faced at your age. Dai's heart raced, his palms slick with sweat. Every instinct screamed, this is madness. This could kill you. Refuse, and you prove skill without courage. Accept, and you gamble your life. Kenshin's eyes were steady, unwavering. Fear is not your enemy. Paralysis is fear telling you danger is real. Courage tells you to move anyway. Dai stepped over the edge. The rope groaned, stretched, a single strand snapping beneath him. Wind screamed. Rocks waited hungrily below. Every muscle burned. Every breath was prayer. Halfway down, the rope frayed further. Terror exploded in his chest. His body wanted to freeze. But Kenshin's voice cut through. You move through fear, not wait for it to pass. Hands bleeding, arms burning, Dai climbed faster. Inch by inch, against every scream of his body, he reached the ledge. He seized the marker stone. And then he climbed, every motion defying instinct, every thought conquered by will. When he reached the top, he collapsed, shaking, alive. Kenshin knelt beside him, voice soft but certain. Now you know. Courage is not feeling brave. It is acting when every part of you screams to stop. The second virtue awakened. 6 remain. Week 2. The village buzzed with whispers. Bandits had been caught stealing rice from the granary. The law was clear. Theft meant death. Public execution at dawn. Kenshin led Dai to the prison the evening before. 3 men sat in the shadows, gaunt, dirty, trembling. One could not have been older than 16. They had stolen just enough to feed their families through famine. Look at them, Kenshin said, voice low. The law demands execution. Justice, by the letter, insists it. But the law is not always justice. Dai's chest tightened, his fists clenched. Then what is justice? This is the third virtue. Jin, compassion. The strength to see beyond rules, beyond punishment, to human suffering. Your father once faced the same choice. A samurai dishonored himself in battle. The code demanded ritual suicide, but your father investigated. He discovered the man acted to save others, not out of cowardice. Compassion saved him. True strength protects. It does not merely punish. Dai turned to the youngest bandit, barely a boy, eyes wide with terror. What can I do? He whispered. The law is not yours to change, Kenshin said. But your voice carries weight. Your uncle respects you. You can speak for mercy. Argue for banishment instead of execution. It risks reputation. Others may call you weak. But is following unjust law strength, or is the courage to challenge its strength? Dai spent the night wrestling with his choice. At dawn, as the executions were to begin, he stepped forward. Lord Teda, uncle, I request permission to speak." The crowd murmured. His uncle's gaze hardened. "Speak." "These men broke the law," Dai began, voice steady. "But the law does not consider famine, failed harvests, children starving. I do not excuse theft, but is death justice or revenge? I propose banishment. Let them leave our province. Let them survive. Let mercy show we are strong enough to bend without breaking." Silence. The samurai glared. Weakness, softness, dishonor. His uncle stood still, listening. Then, after a long pause, banishment is granted. The bandits bowed, one youngest boy locking eyes with Daya's silent, profound gratitude. Kenshin appeared beside him. Compassion is not weakness. It is strength secure enough to show mercy. The third virtue awakens. 5 remain. The fourth virtue, respect. Month 2. Kenshin brought an old peasant to the dojo. Weathered, smelling of soil and sweat, he wished to learn a single sword technique. "Will you teach him?" Kenshin asked. The other samurai laughed. "A peasant? Training him? Absurd. Disrespectful to our class." But Dai remembered his father's words. Respect is not granted by rank. It is earned by existence. Every being deserves dignity. Dai bowed as low to the peasant as he would to a lord. "I will teach you." The lesson was simple, yet Dai taught with patience, care, and reverence. When it ended, the peasant bowed deeply. "You have your father's heart, young lord." Kenshin's voice was calm, firm. Respect. Treat all beings with dignity, while holding your own integrity. Not because they deserve it, but because your character demands it. The fourth virtue awakens. The fifth virtue, Makoto, honesty, week 9. Lord Teda asked Dai about the clan's military readiness. Dai saw the truth. Unprepared, lax, ill-equipped, strategies outdated. Speaking it aloud risked shaming his uncle, undermining leadership, harming relationships. Kenshin waited. Dai drew a breath. "Uncle, I must speak the truth, even if it displeases you. We are unprepared, complacent in peace. If war comes tomorrow, we would struggle." Silence fell. His uncle's expression darkened, then softened. "You have your father's courage to speak uncomfortable truth. Better now than in battle," Kenshin added. "Makoto honesty. Speak truth even when lies serve better. Bushido demands it, regardless of cost." The fifth virtue awakens. The sixth virtue, honor. Month 4. A rival samurai publicly insulted Dai, mocking him as the peasant's friend and a soft warrior. All expected Dai to respond with a duel, to reclaim honor through combat. But Dai had learned. True honor is not given or taken by others' words. He bowed slightly to the rival. "Your words reveal your character, not mine. I need not respond." The rival seethed. "Coward." "No, I refuse to let your opinion dictate my actions. My honor is defined by my code, not your insult." Dai walked away. The crowd whispered, some calling him coward, others calling him wise. Kenshin spoke. "Me honor. Live by an internal code, unshaken by external opinion. True honor is maintained in daily choices, not duels." The sixth virtue awakens. 3 remain. Month 6. Crisis struck. Lord Teda was accused of treason by the shogun, a false charge, a deadly scheme orchestrated by rivals. The clan's fate hung by a thread. Every samurai faced a choice: remain loyal and risk death, or abandon the clan and survive. Over 3 days, 17 samurai quietly left, citing family obligations, illness, or vague excuses. Cowards cloaked in pretenses. Dai watched them go, silent, heart heavy. Kenshin's gaze pierced him. "Your uncle may be executed. The clan may fall. You could leave." No one would blame a 19-year-old for choosing survival. Dai's hands clenched around the hilt of his sword. No, I swore an oath to your father. I remain until death releases me from that vow. I remain, even if it costs my life. Kenshin's eyes reflected pride, a rare, deep pride. This is Chuji loyalty. Not allegiance to the winning side, but unwavering steadfastness to your word, regardless of consequence. Your father died at Sigara, loyal even when flight was possible. You carry his spirit. His voice deepened, echoing with timeless gravity. Throughout history, warriors are tested in moments like this, when honor demands death, when loyalty demands sacrifice, when standing means losing everything. Here, in this crucible, character is forged, not in comfort, but in fire. Those who survive the impossible choices where honor and survival collide walk the true path of the warrior. Because the way does not promise survival. It promises you will stand till the end. The charges were eventually proven false. Lord Tato was exonerated. The clan survived. Those who fled forgotten by history. Die in the 5 who remained their loyalty, remembered for generations. The 7th virtue awakens. 1 remains. Month 7. Everything converged. The rival samurai who had insulted Dai returned, not with words alone, but with a challenge. A duel to the death. Victory was within Dai's grasp. His skills surpassed all who faced him. Honor demanded retaliation. Pride screamed for blood. But Kenshin posed a question that would define the final test. What does accepting prove? That you are not a coward to those who do not matter? Or to yourself, who already knows the truth? 7 months had passed. 7 virtues awakened. Now the 8th, Jisei self-control, would reveal whether Dai had integrated them or merely performed them. Self-control, Kenshin explained, is mastery over the only enemy that truly matters. Yourself, your ego, your need for validation, your desire to prove yourself to those whose opinions carry no weight. Your rival seeks to control you because he cannot control himself. If you fight, he wins. If you refuse, not from fear, but from mastery, you demonstrate the highest form of strength, the strength to need nothing from others to validate you. Dai faced his rival before the assembled dojo. Calm, centered, unshakeable. I decline your challenge. The rival sneered. Coward. No, I refuse to be controlled by your need for validation. You seek to fight because you cannot control your own ego. I have nothing to prove. My code is complete with or without your approval. Dai's voice was steady. 7 virtues had awakened in him. Rectitude, courage, compassion, respect, honesty, honor, loyalty. Now, Jisei, the 8th and final virtue, rose within him. I control myself. Therefore, I control everything that matters. He turned, walked away. The rival shouted insults. The crowd whispered, but Dai felt something deeper. Complete freedom. Freedom from the opinions, provocations, and expectations of others. Kenshin stood beside him. Your father's training is complete. The 8 virtues of Bushido live in you now, not as ideas, but as bone, ref, unshakable foundation. The 8th virtue awakens. The code is complete. Spring 168. Dai, now 20 summers, had transformed not in skill alone, but in presence. His movements, his words, his very being carried the weight of the virtues. The 8 pillars were no longer practices. They were him. When confronted with corruption, G.I. rectitude guided his hand. He did what was right. When facing danger, Yu courage moved him through fear without hesitation. When witnessing suffering, Jin compassion shaped his action. Strength was to protect, not punish. When meeting any person, respect demanded dignity for all, regardless of rank. When questioned, Makoto honesty ensured his words were truth. When insulted, Miyata remained unshaken, internal, and unbreakable. When others fled, Shuji loyalty kept him steadfast unto death. When provoked, Jizei self-control prevented reaction, mastery over ego and desire for approval. This was Bushido, not memorized rules, but identity forged. The transformation was not sudden. It was daily, in each choice to act with virtue over convenience. Each small act, repeated until it became unshakable. Dai stood alone in the training yard, the setting sun painting the dojo in gold. He drew his father's sword, now his own, and made a single perfect cut, not to strike an enemy, but to honor the code. Bushido lived, not in the blade, but in the hand that wielded it. Not in victory, but in the man who chooses virtue regardless of outcome. This is the way. Always was, always will be. The sun set. Darkness came, but the 8 virtues remained, shining like stars, guiding every warrior who chose honor over comfort, character over chaos, virtue over convenience. This is Bushido. This is the code. This is what makes men into legends. 1 year after his training began, a young samurai approached Dai in the training yard. Barely 17 summers, skillful but hollow, his eyes searching. I heard you trained with Kenshin, that he taught you the code. Can you teach me? Dai studied him. Saw himself a year ago, flawless in form, empty in spirit, victories hollow. The code cannot be taught, Dai said. It can only be discovered. Through 8 tests, 8 trials, 8 moments where everything you think you are gets stripped away until only truth remains. The boy's eyes widened, but he nodded. I am willing, he said. Dai's gaze softened. Good. Tomorrow we begin with the hardest virtue of all, rectitude. The courage to do what is right, when everything in you screams to do what is easy. As Dai spoke, he realized these were no longer his words, nor Kenshin's, nor even his father's. They were Bushido itself, timeless, speaking through anyone committed to embodying it. The student becomes the teacher. The code passes forward. The virtues never die. They wait for the next warrior willing to forge them into soul. That evening, Dai found Kenshin by the river, the water reflecting the last light of day. Tomorrow I leave, Kenshin said. Why? Dai asked. My oath to your father is fulfilled. You have become what he hoped, a warrior not of technique, but of character. Dai frowned. But there's still so much I don't know. There will always be more, Kenshin said. That is not the point. You now carry Bushido as foundation. Whatever comes, you will face it with the 8 virtues guiding you. He paused, voice taking on that timeless quality, transcending the moment. The code is not complicated. It is difficult because it demands you become someone most men never attempt to be. Rectitude, courage, compassion, respect, honesty, honor, loyalty, self-control. 8 simple virtues. Embody them completely, and you become someone the world cannot break. For those who hear this call, Kenshin continued, who feel the pull towards something harder, truer, more real than modern comfort, walk this path every week. The ancient code, not as history, but as living practice. The same virtues that shaped samurai can shape modern men. Bushido is not just a way, it is a foundation, and warriors need it. Dai bowed deeply. Where will I go to find the next one who needs teaching? The next skilled warrior with an empty spirit, like I was? Kenshin smiled, fading into the mist. Your father would be proud not for mastering technique, but for mastering yourself. Dai stood alone, yet not truly alone. The 8 virtues lived within him, a code older than steel, stronger than death. Bushido the way that never ends. 10 years later, 1618, Dai, now 29, had become known across the provinces not for battle, not for wealth, not for power, but for being unbreakable. When confronted with corruption, he chose rectitude. When faced with danger, he moved with courage. When witnessing suffering, he acted with compassion. When meeting anyone, he showed respect. When questioned, he spoke with honesty. When insulted, his honor remained unshaken. When others fled, his loyalty never wavered. When provoked, his self-control was absolute. Bushido embodied. Young samurai traveled from distant lands to train with him. Dai taught not technique, but character. Not forms, but virtues. Master these 8 virtues, he would say, and you master everything that truly matters. Your skill with the sword matters less than your skill with yourself. Forge these virtues into your soul, and nothing can break you. In meditation, Dai reflected on his journey from the hollow warrior with 17 empty victories to the man whose defeats and triumphs alike were lived with integrity. It was not one dramatic moment that transformed him. It was the daily choice to act with virtue over convenience. The fire of constant testing. The code alive, eternal. Dai faced the setting sun, drew his father's blade, and made one perfect cut. Not to strike an enemy, but to honor the code. Bushido lives not in the blade, but in the hand that wields it. Not in victory, but in the man who chooses virtue regardless of outcome. This is the way. This was always the way. This will always be the way. The 8 virtues shone like stars, guiding every warrior who chose honor over comfort, virtue over convenience, character over chaos. This is Bushido. This is the code. This is what makes men into legends. And legends never die.